Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I am Vineet Nair with my co-host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show. Join us as we dive deep into history, science, pop culture, and so much more. Let's get quizzing.
All right. So, Vineet, how about you start us off with the first question?
Great. Okay, so last episode, I did kind of mention that I have a few questions which will change people's perceptions or kind of question people's perceptions, preconceptions. So this is one such question. It's not a very surprising piece of trivia, but I still found it quite interesting. Okay, so the patron saint of England is Saint George. So far, 6 English kings have been named George. The flag of England has the cross of St. George, and that cross is also part of the Union Jack. St. George was seen widely as a crusader knight, and many English knights bore the cross on their shields, flags, and heraldry during the Third Crusade. If he were born today, which country's citizenship would he have?
I guess if we round up the usual suspects, I would imagine one of the countries in the United Kingdom might be the most logical guess. But because this is you, Vineet, and you would not throw me such an easy bone, I'm going to go with, let's say, Republic of Ireland.
No. Not Irish, no.
Not Irish, not Republic of Ireland. Okay. I would need more clues then. Yeah, let's hear some more clues.
Let's just say that it's quite ironic that he's... this is kind of a gimme, but it's quite ironic that he was a Crusader knight. Or he was a Crusader saint.
Oh, okay. Then that leads me to the Middle East, and I'm gonna venture a guess as to would he be Syrian?
No, I'll guide you to it. I'll kind of push you towards it. He's a Christian saint, right? So what's like the country which was the center of the eastern branch of the Holy Roman Empire?
Turkey? Greece? Turkish?
It's Turkey. He was Turkish.
Oh, okay. How did that happen?
Everybody, I mean, like it's, I don't know, maybe it's just our perception, the way we see in the world, but the name George and Saint George, everything is considered essentially English, right?
Right, yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, historically, the countries of England, Ukraine, Ethiopia, Georgia, obviously for obvious reasons, as well as Catalonia, Aragon in Spain, and Moscow in Russia, have claimed George as their patron saint, as have several other regions, cities, universities, professions, and organizations. According to tradition, he was a soldier in the Roman army. He was a soldier of Cappadocian Greek origin. Cappadocia, I think that's the correct pronunciation, I'm not sure, is historically a region in central Anatolia,
Turkey. Yeah. That's where those hot air balloons are, right?
Yeah, he was a member of the Praetorian Guard for the Roman Emperor Diocletian, who was sentenced to death for refusing to recant his Christian faith.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He became one of the most venerated saints in Christianity and has been especially venerated as a military saint since the Crusades.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting, no? Because
very interesting. He'd be a Turkish guy.
He's a Turkish guy. And almost all the Crusades, I'm not sure, but a lot of the Crusades, at least, they did pass through Turkey at some point because it was part of the Byzantine Empire. They must have passed through Turkey. I'm guessing that's where they picked it up. But now, for the past 1,000 years or so, he's been,
co-opted by the English. Yeah, good for English and for Ethiopia and Georgia and all of them. Yeah, good for all of them.
Yes. So,
all right,
hit me. Your turn.
Okay, so mine isn't as deep into history as yours. It's actually very current. So I'm going to ask you: do you know what the largest employers are in the world? Which are the largest employers? So I'm going to hit you with the first two and you can tell me what the third one is. The first one is United States Department of Defense, the DoD.
Okay, the DoD.
The second one is People's Liberation Army, our neighbor up north, China.
Okay.
What do you think the third one is?
Okay, now I don't know if this is true, but I remember reading something in the 90s or the 2000s about the Indian Railway.
You are actually, in a weird way, close to what the subsequent ones are, but it's not the third one. No,
it's not the third one. Okay, it's
I'll
not
tell you
the
what,
third.
because I'm hinting at the fourth one, which is Chinese Railway, China Railway.
Oh, Chinese Railway. Okay.
Yeah, Indian Railways, I think, comes closer to. Is lower on the list. I think it's number 14.
Okay. No, I remember reading some point. This was way back, so maybe it was true at that time, but now I don't know. So number three on the list. Any clues? Any?
All right, sure, of course. I will offer you a clue. This is obviously not fitting the pattern, which is why it's the odd one out, and I asked you to guess it. And it is outside of government organizations and definitely not one of these big countries that you would imagine. It is a corporation that was started by a former J.C. Penney employee.
Walmart.
You are right on the mark. Sam Walton, the former J.C. Penney employee, started Walmart.
Third biggest employer in the world.
Is the third largest employer in the world at a whopping 2.3 million people.
Oh my God, that's bigger than most countries' armies.
It is, yeah. It is more than, it literally is more than Indian Army, Russian Army, all of them. 2.3 million.
Oh my God.
Walmart employee strength.
Okay, that one was really out of the blue.
I loved it because the first time I read it, that list seemed so predictable right up till the third, and then goes back to the set pattern of government organizations. But Walmart is the third largest employer.
I think at least half of the first top 10 should be Chinese, right?
You know what? I have the list right in front of me. I'm going to read it out for you. So it's Department of Defense, then it's People's Liberation Army, Walmart Incorporated. Number 4 is China Railway. Number 5 is Ministry of Defense of Russia.
Okay.
Number 6 is Ministry of Public Security, which is China. Okay. Number 7, actually, we go back to a non-governmental organization. You want to venture a guess as to what number 7 is?
Number 7, no, I'm liable to be very wrong if I did guess, unless I have a clue somewhere.
I'll give you the most obvious clue: fast food industry.
McDonald's.
It is McDonald's. McDonald's is at number 7. Number 8 is our beloved Indian Armed Forces. Number 9 is the NHS in the UK. And number 10 is China National Petroleum.
I think around 4, right? 4 from China.
Yeah. So China does dominate it. And the US comes in strong with its Department of Defense, with Walmart and McDonald's. Technically, both of those are also American. Yeah.
That was a bolt out of the blue. That was a very good question. Very good question. Okay, let me see if I can match that one. This is okay. So if you were a quizzer in the 90s or the late 80s and the 90s, again I'm dating myself. I'm not that old, but still in the 90s we used to have quizzes where it used to be tests of memory, as in what is the capital of Czechoslovakia. Right. In which year did so and so thing happen? They were very straightforward questions. I detested those because my memory sucks.
Okay.
However, I did find a couple of questions which are of that pattern, but the answers are somewhat surprising. So there are and there have been many countries with more than one capital. Okay. Most of them having 2 capitals. But only one country currently has 3 capitals. So this is a 2-part question. Tell me the country which has 3 capitals, and there's an added bonus with bragging right. If you can tell me the 2 Asian countries which have 2 capitals.
So here I get to flex a little bit. South Africa. South Africa with Pretoria, Bloemfontein, and Johannesburg.
You got two of those.
Cape Town. Cape Town. Is it Cape Town?
Cape Town. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Johannesburg is the largest city. Almost there. Almost there. Okay.
No, but that was a pretty nice flex. Cape Town is the legislative capital. Pretoria is the administrative capital, and Bloemfontein is the judicial capital. Now, for the bragging rights, two Asian countries which have two capitals. Actually, this is more surprising than the South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa, because of the three capitals, that's why I've heard of it. It just sticks out of the memory. Two capitals in Asia. Let's see. What can I? Does Myanmar? But Myanmar has shifted.
No, Myanmar. They are currently building. They built this new capital. But it's not like they built this huge city, which is like a ghost town right now. But they don't have two concurrent capitals. They don't have two concurrent capitals. These are two Asian countries which have two concurrent capitals.
Sri Lanka is also not it.
Are you sure?
Is Sri Lanka it? Because
yes, one of them is Sri Lanka.
Colombo and Sri Jayawardena.
Yes, Sri Jayawardena Pure Kotte.
Kotte, yes.
Colombo is the executive and the judicial capital, and Sri Jayawardena Pure Kotte is the legislative capital.
Oh, okay. Wow, all right. I just thought it was the Sri Jayawardena Pure Kotte. Okay, great to know. Colombo is the other one still. Okay. The other country with two capitals. Give me a hint if there is one.
Okay, so where did you do your college studies?
Singapore.
Okay, it's a nearby nation.
Southeast Asia. It's not Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia.
I will confess, there is a slight thing about terminology here, but it does kind of apply.
No, fair enough. Is it by any chance Indonesia? Do they have anything apart from Jakarta?
No, I'm not putting Indonesia in 2 episodes running. You don't get it.
Yes, of course. Okay. I'm going to venture a guess this is completely out of the blue. I'm pulling it out of thin air, and I'm going to say it is Vietnam.
No.
Okay.
No.
Then I'm out. Give me.
It's Malaysia.
I was gonna guess. Okay, Malaysia.
So it has two centers. One is KL, Kuala Lumpur, which is the executive and the constitutional capital. Right. They also have a city called Putrajaya. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Right.
Which is the administrative center.
Okay. See, now I know I have some Malaysian friends. And I'll have to check in with them and confirm if they consider it, because I think a lot of these things are technical.
Yeah, it is a little technical because they call it the administrative center. They don't call it a capital. But I think in the spirit of the word, it is technically a capital. So you could say that. And Wikipedia does call it the capital. So that's the ultimate source.
Wikipedia then.
Thousands of years from now, when alien archaeologists descend upon us, it will be Wikipedia's resources that they check.
Yes, hopefully nobody has edited it by then. Okay, my question next.
Yes.
Which character is also referred to in these various languages by these various names? I'm going to tell you what these names are.
Okay.
In French, it's Charlie. In German, it's Walter. In Hindi, it's Hetty.
Hindi, it's what?
Hetty.
Okay.
Hetty. Yeah. So these are the three names. What is this character more famously known as in English? And where would you find this character?
Okay, so in French it's Charlie. And in German it's Walter.
Yes.
Okay. Shot in the dark. Are these like names for American GIs or something?
Oh no, that's not it. That's not it. No.
Okay, because I was thinking of Checkpoint Charlie, and I was okay. Something there. Okay,
That's a great guess. Yeah, no, but it's not the one.
no. Okay, so it's not. Okay, the other guess I would think is Tintin, but Tintin's name is Tintin everywhere.
I believe Tintin is called Tintin in all the translations also.
Okay. Charlie, Walter, and Hetty.
Mm-hmm.
Hetty in Hindi.
In Hetty, it's Hindi. In Hindi, it's Hetty, yes.
Okay, you'll have to give me a clue here. Shine a torch.
This is an illustrated character.
I was thinking it'll be an illustrated character, but the problem is there are so many. Okay.
Yes, you did come to Tintin, so you're not too far away from that.
Illustrated character, which would be popular in France, Germany, and India.
And amongst other countries, these are the three countries that are named. So that wasn't an exhaustive list. I also do not want to venture the name in Arabic because I'm pretty sure I'll butcher the word. So I'm just going to stick to the ones that I probably am pronouncing it right.
Something. Okay, would it be a comic strip that would have appeared in newspapers?
It was an illustrated book that came out, I believe, in the 1980s.
In the 1980s?
Yeah.
An illustrated book in the 80s.
Yes.
Okay, now that kind of threw out all my guesses. The 1980s. I was actually going to go with something like Mandrake or, The Phantom or something like that. But no, 1980s illustrated character. Fido Dido? No, it's a book, right? It's not the
It's a book.
Okay. Charlie, Walter, and Hetty. No clue, dude. Absolutely nothing. I'm blanking.
Let me try to help you along. Let me give you one last clue. So in the US and in the UK, they would be referred to as similar names, but not. So the first three letters of this 5-letter name are the same in both the US and the UK, but which is also the same 3 letters as the name of in German.
Waldo. Where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo? Where's Wally? Wally would be in the UK, whereas Waldo is in North America and the US. And in many other countries, it's known by these various names.
Okay, so in India, it's called Hetty. So
Hetty.
What would be the tagline be? Hetty kahan hai or what?
I imagine, yeah. Which is why I also phrased the question as where would you find this character?
Yeah. Tricky. Nice.
So in all the translations, official translations of this book, he's known by these various names. It's localized to the place. I had never heard the Hindi name Hetty, so that was new for me.
Yeah, neither had I.
In Mandarin, it's Wei Li. I'm probably not saying it completely right, but they try to make it sound similar to Wally. In Mandarin, it's Wei Li. Yeah. All right, that's my question. Next, on to you.
Okay. So then I'm going into sports. This I am fairly sure you'll know because this was a famous piece of trivia that was circulating.
It's sports, Vineet. You can be fairly sure I wouldn't. But okay,
let's see. I'm okay. Let's see. If you get it in the first line, you get it. Otherwise, you might be able to work it out. Okay. In the 1920s and 1930s, they were supplied by Shaftesbury Homes. Okay. From 1946, they were volunteers from institutions or schools.
Okay.
Approximately 170 are selected from around 750 fresh applicants, and around 80 are chosen from around 250 from previous years. Okay. The average age is 15, and they're all in years 9 and 10 at secondary school, so that their training doesn't interfere with their exams. They are required to have excellent hand-eye coordination. They are tested on their knowledge of the rules and are trained military style to be physically fit, agile, flexible, patient, and calm under pressure. Who am I talking about?
Okay, let's recount because
I'll just recap the question for you. You want me to recap the question?
Please, yeah.
Okay. So the 1920s and 30s, they were supplied by Shaftesbury Homes. Okay. From 1946, they became volunteers from schools. Okay, the majority are selected from fresh applicants, and a few are selected from people who've been selected in the previous years. Okay, the average age is around 15 years old. All of them are in year 9 or 10 in secondary school, so that their training doesn't interfere with their exams. They are required to have excellent hand-eye coordination. They are tested on their knowledge of the rules and are trained military style to be physically fit, agile, flexible, patient, and calm under pressure.
I'm going to say these are Wimbledon ball boys.
Whoa, that is an excellent guess and very correct. It is Wimbledon ball boys and girls. Since 1977, girls have also been allowed.
Okay, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
this is basically there are articles on the Washington Post and other places, even in the BBC, about the kind of training these people have to go to. You should really read them.
Okay, wow. Interesting.
You just cannot hang back or anything. They will cut you immediately. You have to be in top shape.
I can imagine. I remember there is this one video which went viral on social media of this guy who runs into the wall. He's just gotten the ball and he's turning back and he's trying to get into position as quickly as possible, and he runs
into the wall, yeah.
And he collapses and he immediately stands up and he's back in attention, right? Yeah. And when you said this under pressure and being calm, that's the image that came into my head, which I was like, it's probably the Wimbledon ball boys and girls. Yeah, that's how I got to thank Instagram Reels for that.
No, but I'll just read out the kind of training that they have to go through. They have to be able to pass a written test on the rules. They have to be able to run at a sustained pace for 12 minutes, be able to complete a circuit and then stand still for 3 minutes. They have to show good speed in shuttle runs and then pass tests of hand-eye coordination.
I see. Yeah.
This is before they get into training.
Wow. Okay. That's intense. All right. So let me hit you with my next question.
Yes.
According to the New Yorker, this particular CEO of a very famous company is colorblind. And he's colorblind in the red-green spectrum, which means the shade that he's able to see best is blue.
Yeah. I know where you're going with this, but please complete the question.
I can see you smiling already. So I'll leave it at that for now.
No, complete the question. There are people who...
That was actually it. Yeah. So he's... and the color blue, obviously, is represented very richly in the company's entire color palette.
Yeah. That's why Facebook is blue.
That was such an easy crack for you. Yes, Mark Zuckerberg is red-green colorblind.
Yeah, he's colorblind. Yeah, and I read this a long time ago when... I think there was an article about him, and they mentioned, that he was colorblind. And I was like, what? Okay, so that's the reason why Facebook is blue. I was thinking they must have done some kind of testing with peer groups or something to find out which color would be most peaceful or most attractive. But no, it turns out it's because he can see blue.
So I am from the tech background, and I can assure you, most things in the tech industry are very much happenstance and chance. There isn't a big think tank that is coming up with these decisions. Yeah, and Zuckerberg, at least in his early years, was not really paying that much attention to the wider impact of his choices, I believe.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's how Facebook came to be blue. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's great.
That was a quick one. You're up next.
This is actually right up your alley. I actually know that it's right up your alley, but I'll just put it in. Okay. Please try not to jump in and answer the question halfway through.
Overexcited child. Yes, I'll keep down.
It was effectively impossible to be exempted from highly dangerous bombing missions on the grounds of insanity. Anyone who had applied for exemption proved himself to be sane. After all, that's what any sane person would do. Anyone who didn't apply must be crazy. After all, it was so dangerous. So those who applied for exemption were considered sane, and those who were insane didn't apply. Either way, sane or insane, they were sent on the missions. This would be an explanation For which phrase? I can literally see it's like a 32 smile right now.
I have been smiling since I think the fourth or fifth word in that sentence. Because
Yeah, I know. I remember this is one of yours, but I just couldn't, help this question. It's another.
it's interesting because one of the first few times, and I guess nobody on our podcast who's listening might know this, but one of the first few times when we were doing that quizzing thing back in 2013, was it?
Yeah.
And you cracked my question in a few seconds, and I was so surprised because I was pretty sure I had framed one of the hardest questions ever. And the answer, obviously, back then and today as well to your question is Catch 22.
Yes,
and the reason that you cracked it, and I remember you told me that what is that quote? Don't play the game, play the player. And you just knew that I like Catch 22, so you knew that I was talking about Catch 22 back then. And today, yes, your answer to your wonderful question is Catch 22. That's how Catch 22 is.
So, for the benefit of the audience, this is the Catch 22 is the title of Joseph Heller's novel, written in 1953, published in 61. The first chapter was also published in a magazine in 1955, but do you remember what the title was?
Oh, I had no idea this was a thing. Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, so it was the first chapter was published in a magazine in 1955, even though the novel was published in 61.
Is it The Texan? Because I think that's the chapter name.
No. The first chapter in the magazine was called Catch 18.
Oh, okay. Because that was the question that I asked back in 2013. I remember they had come up with a few different iterations. They came up with Catch 18, which they dropped because of Stalag 18. Is that the
Stalag
name?
18. Stalag 18. Yeah.
Stalag 18.
They were like it would sound too familiar. It will sound too similar to the movie. So,
they came up with Catch 11 because Joseph Heller wanted. Then he thought he'll do a repetitive number. They dropped that because of Ocean's 11. So then he came to Catch 22. Yeah.
Any other pieces of trivia for our listeners on Catch 22?
No, I want everybody to read the book. It's a fantastic book.
It's a fantastic book. It's really a fantastic book. Misinterpreted by a lot of people, but it is a fantastic book.
The name of the protagonist, Yossarian, is actually an Assyrian name, and he wanted a name which sounded very unique. And definitely not a usual American GI name, which is why he went to the Yossarian, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
So let me, after that very, very gratifying question, thank you so much for that, Vineet. Let me ask you one. This would be perhaps common knowledge for any of our listeners who are in Mumbai or maybe in Maharashtra in general. So I'm going to go into etymology. There was this gentleman, Devi Prasad, and he was a frequent visitor at the Willingdon Club in Bombay.
Okay.
He was completely vegetarian at home, but loved to indulge when he went to the club.
Okay.
There is a dish that is named after him. So I haven't given you his full name. Devi Prasad is his first name. What dish is named after this particular individual?
Devi Prasad. I'm going to guess it's a vegetarian dish. No.
So he was vegetarian at home, but loved to indulge in the non-veg when he went to the club.
Non-veg when he went to the club. And it's the Mumbai thing.
Okay, I'll be more specific. He loved to eat eggs when he went to the club.
Burji?
No, Burji is not it.
Not Burji. Devi Prasad Burji. No, that's not.
Devi Prasad Burji.
No, you said something about the name, right? So I'm guessing it'll be part of his name. Okay, eggs.
Burji would be a Bengali name, right? Like a Banerjee, Chatterjee, Burji. Oh, that's such a terrible joke.
Please confirm that's a joke.
Yes, please, it's a joke. I do not claim that's a fact on this otherwise reliable podcast. Okay. So Devi Prasad's first name. His last name is where the name of the dish is derived from today. It's a dish, egg dish. And he used to love eggs, but he only used to eat it at the club. Now, the reason I mentioned the whole vegetarian thing is because that is one of the reasons why the dish came to be.
Okay.
So let me guide you along a little bit more.
Okay, yeah.
When he went to the club, and these clubs, as you would know in Bombay, especially gymkhanas, are where a lot of the society hangs out. A lot of people hang out, so people know each other very well. Devi Prasad's friends knew that he was vegetarian, so he did not want this secret to be out and open. So he one day asked the chef to give him eggs. He was really craving his eggs, but he also wanted to make sure that they were not too obvious. So they took it very seriously in the kitchen, and they gave him a toast with eggs on top of it, and they layered it with everything under the sun to make sure that it was not visible, that it was not obvious that he was eating eggs.
Okay.
So the disguise, basically the cook added like cheese, chilies, chutney, and in an effort to make sure that the egg was not obvious on his plate.
I'm going to kill myself when I hear this, am I not?
So a lot of people confuse this name, especially if you're not from Mumbai, you're new to the city, and you see this name on the menu, you confuse it with a certain chief minister, not Maharashtra chief minister.
Okay, now I'm totally confused. Okay, eggs. Dude, no, I don't even have any guesses. You'll have to put me out of my misery on this one.
So, Vineet, you are in Goa, and I'm not sure if they have this dish over there, but I saw this everywhere when I moved to Mumbai. And I was, for the longest time, confused, and then I decided to Google it, and I came across the story. This gentleman is called Devi Prasad Kejriwal. So, it's eggs Kejriwal.
Eggs Kejriwal. Oh, okay.
Which is a lot of people who don't know it confuse it with Arvind Kejriwal, and that's not the person who
eggs Kejriwal. Okay, so what's the dish? Like I've personally not had it, so I'm not. This is new to me.
It's basically so when they came up with it, at least initially at the club, it was a piece of toast and a runny egg on top of it, and then that was layered with cheese, chilies, and chutney on top.
Oh,
That's how eggs Kejriwal came to be. This one is very much aimed and intended at people from Mumbai and Maharashtra. And I thought this was a really cute story because he wanted to not let everybody around him know that he was eating eggs. So that's how this wonderful dish came to be. Eggs Kejriwal.
Eggs Kejriwal. Nice. I think we have time for around 2 more questions.
Let's go for it.
So I'll ask one, and then you can ask the last one for this episode. In 1986, he performed at a charity show called Hope 86 in front of members of the film industry. He was not a frontline show, performer. He was just a filler in between. Even though this was not his first such performance, it led to him being recognized as a comedian to be reckoned with, and is widely regarded as his breakout performance. His talent was then recognized, which resulted in producer Gul Anand offering him the film Jalwa alongside Nasiruddin Shah. Who am I talking about?
Okay. Which year was it? 1986?
1986. He performed in a charity show called Hope 86 in front of members from the Hindi film industry.
Okay.
It was considered like his breakout performance as a comedian. It kind of cemented his reputation as a comedian. And producer Gul Anand offered him the film Jalwa alongside Nasiruddin Shah.
Some comedian who came up in 86. I'm just going to say Johnny Lever?
Yes, it is Johnny Lever.
It is Johnny Lever. Okay. Wow.
Do you know his real name? Johnny Lever.
I just know he took the name from Hindustan Lever, and that's how the name came to be. But I don't know his actual name now.
Yeah, so I hope I don't butcher this. It's John Prakash Rao Janumala.
Okay. So John became Johnny, and then Hindustan Lever. Did he work at Hindustan Lever? I know it comes from there.
I don't think he was working there. I'm not sure. We'll have to check that. That'll be fact checked, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Great. Okay.
Last
Johnny
question
Lever.
of this episode.
All right. What does this particular disease and a South American capital have in common? So I'm asking about a disease and a South American capital. And both of these were named after the environmental conditions around them. Let me give you I think that's way too broad a question. Let me try to. It's a parasitic disease. But you're a doctor, Vineet. Come on.
Dude, seriously, don't put me on the spot here. Huh? I'll start asking IT questions next time.
Oh boy, no. Okay, so it's a parasitic disease, and
Okay,
it was
Chagas.
misattributed. Sorry.
Chagas disease? No.
No, oh, it's nothing that fancy.
Okay.
It's a very, very common disease, and it was misattributed. The cause was misattributed. That's how this disease got its name.
Oh, okay. I think I guess is I know you're talking about atmospheric conditions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this would be malaria because it's mal area meaning bad air.
Yes, and the South American capital that I'm talking about.
The South American capital also named after. Okay, it's named after malaria or named after its atmospheric
No,
conditions.
similar. Yeah, similar
Atmospheric
etymology.
conditions. Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires is the right one. Yeah, good air. Good air and bad air. Yeah, Buenos being bueno is good in Spanish, and Aires, and good air, bad air. So I think back in the day, there was the swampy area near Buenos Aires had a pretty strong stench. But this place on top of the hill was supposed to have cleaner air, and malaria was one of the diseases that they were able to avoid because the swampy area had malaria. But in the
Okay.
Buenos Aires area, there was
So living in the area with good air, they were able to avoid the bad air.
exactly, and malaria was attributed to bad air. That's how, which of course today we know it is caused by the coronavirus vaccine. No, I'm kidding. It's not. Please, please do not. Oh God. Yes,
Okay, for the
Spotify
listeners of the
therapeutic.
podcast, it's caused by parasites of the genus Plasmodium.
Oh my! I was just going to say caused by mosquitoes, but yes, let the doctor tell you how it is.
There is a piece of trivia I do know. No, I'm not going to keep this for a question. I'm just going to say it because I can't help myself. You already know this. I'm fairly sure of this. That the British used to drink gin and tonics to avoid malaria because tonics had a tiny bit of quinine in it. Yeah, but I don't think, if I remember correct, I don't think there was enough quinine in it to actually prevent any malaria because it's like waste tiny amounts. But I think maybe if you drink enough of it, I'll have to check that. But they used to the idea was that you mix gin with tonic so that you can prevent malaria.
I think it's just about like if you drink enough gin and tonics, your liver will fail, and then malaria doesn't seem that bad a problem. So you feel like you're solved.
There is. Okay, I'm pulling this out from memory, but there is a Nobel Prize that was won because the guy cured syphilis by giving somebody malaria.
Is that does it work? Am I missing the science behind it?
No, it is. So basically, the idea, if I remember correctly, now we'll have to fact check this, but if I remember correctly, it is that the syphilis, the bacteria, they die if your body temperature goes beyond a certain point. So malaria was curable. Okay. So you give malaria to the person and they have a really high fever which kills the syphilis, and then then you can cure malaria because they already had quinine.
This sounds like a third act written by a screenwriter who's under pressure. Like, how do I solve this in the third act? I have no idea. Let me just come up with a hacky solution.
No, we'll have to fact check this because again, I'm just pulling things out of my memory. I don't know how reliable, but I do remember there was something about and somebody did win a Nobel Prize for curing something with a fever or something like that. This is in the early days of the Nobel Prizes, but still, yeah.
Cool. So I guess that was our last question.
Yes, that was our last question. So that's all for this episode, everyone. Thank you for listening in. We hope you enjoyed the show and learned something new. If you liked what you heard, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform. It helps us reach a wider audience and allows more people to discover and enjoy the show. We'd also love to hear from you, feedback, suggestions, and even trivia. You can reach us on Instagram at Are You Quizzing Me? We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more episodes with you in the future. Thank you for tuning in and have a great day.
Vineet, I'm going to leave us on a cliffhanger for this one.
Okay.
So you asked the question, what is the Czech capital? This I shall answer in the next episode. What is the Czech capital? And it is not what people assume it's going to be. It's going to be a really, really lame joke.
Yes,
So if you want to get a punchline to that joke, please.
So that will be the opening act of our next episode. Stay tuned and tune in for the next one.
All right, bye-bye.
And Aditya will be back with a fact check after the musical sting.
Stay tuned.
Bye. Bye.